especially upsetting given that there are actual ICE agents who are showing up masked, won't show their they won't show their faces, they won't show identification, they won't show a warrant, and they're just snatching people off the streets.
Let's contrast what good policy is and what leadership is with California, because it is a crazy place where nobody sane should live anymore. However, for some reason, 15 million Republicans still live there. Listen to this from the Right Angle News Network. Breaking: California Democrats have just introduced legislation to ban law enforcement, including federal agencies like ICE, from covering their faces during arrest. So we've covered this notion quite a bit, right? We have masked jihadis with Hamas and Hezbollah flags and with flags of other countries, and they're terrorizing people in the streets of various cities. They're burning things down, they're breaking into buildings, they're looting things, they're locking Hispanic janitors into buildings at Columbia University, all of these things. For some reason, nobody in the left, nobody in mainstream media wants these people to be unmasked, who are active domestic terrorists. However, what the left wants to be unmasked are the good guys, the guys who are coming in to try to make sure that people are able to live in a functional city. And the reason that they wear masks, as I pointed out repeatedly, is not because they're worried about their safety per se. They're wearing masks because if they were to be doxxed, which happens all the time online now, their families could be threatened, right? So if you're a guy who works for ICE and you're just doing your job, you go into a factory and you get an illegal who has a criminal record and you bring him out and then your face is put on TV, there are these crazy far left Marxist Antifa people who coordinate on Discord and all of these other places online, and then they could go after your family. So they're not doing it for themselves. These happen to be quite brave people who take a job that's not the most fun thing in the world, where you could get killed, to do it to defend the country and the borders of the United States of America. But they get everything wrong. They get everything wrong in Cali. And this gets to what I keep saying about the left. Every time they get a chance to just be like, have we gone completely insane? Are we the baddies? Are we all complete lunatics? Nobody ever says, yes, it might be us. Maybe it is us. Here's California State Senator Jesse Aragon talking about how when these people cover their faces, the ICE agents, that somehow undermines safety. He has nothing to say about the Hamas people that do it, but when the good guys come in with the mask, that's a problem.
Yeah, if I can just elaborate, people covering their faces, impersonating police officers, it erodes trust in law enforcement and it undermines community safety. That's really what this bill is about. And I think many law enforcement officials, legitimate law enforcement officials, would welcome, putting in safeguards to ensure transparency and accountability.
So when ICE or law enforcement comes in with masks, which again are not to defend themselves, it's to defend their families and loved ones, it erodes trust and undermines safety. And yet when the Hamas people and the Antifa people and the COVID mask people, and it's all done to hide their anonymity because they're the ones doing bad things, you have nothing to say. Well, I've got an offer for you, dude. How about we ban them all together and see what happens? But you'd never be for that because you are for the bad guys actually covering their faces because you're one of the bad guys. Here is Washington Post's Catherine Rampell, and she somehow likens ICE to the Proud Boys because they also wear masks, I guess.
What are you doing?
So it's especially upsetting given that there are actual ICE agents who are showing up masked, won't show their they won't show their faces, they won't show identification, they won't show a warrant, and they're just snatching people off the streets. And one thing that I have been hearing from people who are bystanders or sometimes trying to intervene is, how do we know these guys didn't just buy an ICE vest off of
you don't know if
eBay or Amazon or whatever?
Militias out there doing this.
Yeah, and like, we don't know if these are the Proud Boys or actual law enforcement agents because they won't show us any documentation.
Okay, again, even if at some level what you just said there is right, how do we know who these people are and everything else? Even if that's right, you never care about the bad guys who are doing the same thing. So I'm going to have to say, cry me a river. Cry me a river to an illegal country and get on a boat and go.